So hello guys, I am SB. Today I am going to show you a big industrial pedestal fan, that is this EPC. This is EPC air circulator. So as you can see, it is totally made of metal. This fan is a pure metallic fan and the weight of this fan is very heavy if you compare with other metallic fans such as the Crompton Storm 2 or Orient Tornado 2, whatever. So this fan is completely made of metal, as you can see. And this is the label of this fan, as you can see here, the label. And this is a double ball bearing motor. So this is the pedestal of this fan. If you loosen this nut, the fan will go down, but inside here there is a spring. So if you just loosen it up, the fan will not easily go down. I am just showing you. You can see here, I will loosen the nut. Now I have to press it hard just to get inside. Now the fan is totally down. As you can see, this is the minimum height of this fan. So as you can see, you can also index the neck. As you can see, if you just lose this nut, and then you can just incline the neck of this fan like this. Just see, as you can see here, the head has been raised, or you can also put the head downwards like this. This is the minimum position, as you can see here. Now the head is in a downward position. So let's start the fan and see the performance. As you can see, this is the regulator of this fan. So let me just turn it on in full speed. As you can feel the airflow. Let me just get to a distance around 10 to 15 feet. 10 to 15 feet away from the fan. And the airflow is pretty good. You can feel the airflow. So this is a real industrial fan. Now as you can see here, the regulator part. This regulator was previously a 4-speed regulator. That means this was the full, this was the medium, this was the low. The low is a little bit inclined, but actually the low point was here and the bottom was off. Means that was a 4-step regulator. But unfortunately that regulator failed the performance. That's why I have fixed here an electronic 7-step regulator. So only matching with the full markings. So this is the slow. If you could see here, this is slow, then second, then third. I am not giving it time to accelerate, but whatever might be. This is the fourth. This marking and this medium marking is totally shit now, but you can just for usage of the fan, I am using this electronic regulator, since you cannot match the marking with a modern regulator. 5, 6, 7, pull. This is 6, this is 7, and this is off. Now means this kind of regulator steps is not available in this, from the original condition. You will get a 4-step regulator. In that condition, this will be the full, this will be the medium, this will be the low, and this will be the off. But I am showing you the replaced components, original components. As you can see here, this was the register circuit of this regulator. This was an electronic one, but it was controlled by a switchable knob. So this is a 4-step knob. As you can see, this is a 4-step knob. So this one, red one, is a power supply, and this 3 are 3 speeds from the knob to the regulator. So as you can see here, the regulator is facing to the red wire. Let me just rotate it. This regulator is very hard to rotate. So this is now facing another direction. This is now another direction. The fourth one is a typical hard. Let me just use some pliers. And this is another day. So 4-step regulator, and this was the resistance circuits which was present inside the EPC branding pedestal. So this is the fan, as you can see. So now this fan needs little bit lubrication, as you can hear from the back side. This fan is sounding too much. Means the motor is sounding badly because the bearings are garbage. And the capacitor is a bit okay, so no issues with the capacitor. Actually, I will reveal another thing. I have also replaced the capacitor because the original capacitor failed to start after my purchase of this fan. Means this is only a used product, so the original capacitor was Epcos brand oil capacitor, but that capacitor failed. That's why I am currently using a Tipcon 2.5 mmFD plastic capacitor from an exhaust fan. But no worries, I will again use an oil capacitor during the bearing replacement. So this fan needs a bearing replace. So let's just have a look what's inside the fan. Now let's show you how to remove the front guard. Just remove these 6 screws available here. So all the 6 screws, 1 2 3 4 5 6 screws to remove, and then the front guard will can be removed. And removing the back guard, you have to just remove these bolts, and removing the blade, I'm just showing you. Just remove this screw, this screw from here, and the front nut, locking nut. This is the locking nut front. So just remove the locking nut, and after that just remove the screw, and the blade will be free. So let's disassemble the fan. So as you can see here, I have removed the guards from this fan. Removal of this guard is a little bit tricky, but because the 2 screws are like this and the bottom screws are like this, and these particular bolts are connected to the motor by the help of this clamp, so common bolt. So the capacitor is also placed here, so you have to remove the this screw just to loosen the capacitor, or you may see inside there is just something clamp like thing. You may just release the capacitor from there. So this is the case. I have plugged in the motor. So as you can see, the connector is like this, and this is a Tipcon heavy duty grade 2.5 capacitor. So let's start it in full speed. You just hear the sound. Now let me start in a slow speed. Let me increase the power. In full speed, the fan is shouting like hell. And as you can see, now it is silent. This means the bearings are garbage. Let me just hold the motor. The bearings are totally garbage. So let me just replace the bearings. During the removal process, just remove these 3 screws from here, and don't forget to remove the power connections, but also remember the power connection wiring. And this will just remove the back cover from here. But when you want to remove the front cover from this meat plate, when you want to remove the front cover, you have to remove 1, 2 and 3 screws. Then this front cover will be removed from the meat plate. So let's do a full tear down of this fan. As you can see, I have removed all the screws and all the connections from here and here, as you can see. So let me just remove the back cover. So it is shaking, so you have to insert screwdrivers to remove it. Just insert screwdriver in these gaps, especially a tester for a smaller gap, and then a big screwdriver for a larger gap. And first try to remove the back side, then go to the front side. Before creating a gap, always you must have a good idea that here are no holes. So always tap your fan shaft like this a couple of times, little bit harder, so that there is a gap created in between here. Now you can just shove in 2 screwdrivers and just twist it like this to make a huge gap, and then you can release the motor back cover. So as you can see, the rotor is now free, as you can see here, and this thing is totally now free, as you can see, and the bearings are totally garbage. Means it is rotating freely without any kind of obstruction. So let me show you what's inside. So this is inside, as you can see. This is inside. This is the coil. This is the winding, and as you can see, here are some grease vapors, and this is the bearing in the front part. So let's remove the front cover. You may just remove the front cover by your hammer's foot, just by tapping it like this and grabbing it, the falling cover, with another hand. Now many of you guys will have a question regarding how to remove this thing from the back cover, since there are no holes. So before that, I will say you, this is a 6201 bearing, and probably this backside bearing seems to be 6200. So let's just remove the loose fitments. This is just a grease cover and nothing else, or you may claim as a washer. nothing else. This thing will never obstruct your bearing since it is little bit free, so no worries, just a dust cover. Since I will never use this kind of naked bearings, I will use sealed bearings, so this cover is useless, but I will use. So let me remove the back, this thing from this back cover. It will not be released by pulling, so you have to use a wild process. So let's remove it. So we need a hammer and a screwdriver. So just grab it like this and tap this surface very carefully. Don't tap it hard because this is a thin surface. If you tap it hard, it will get broken. Somebody may claim that just to insert the screwdriver like this and rotate it like the way you did with the covers, but I have to try it just once. So this is really a tricky part, and this is not an easy as it seemed to be. So somebody, you may say that just to hit it like this, but I will say this is a very stupid process. But it is coming out, means this is the safest process because slighter taps are required to release it. As you can see, this is coming out slowly because this part is thin. So if you hit this part with this sharp screwdriver, it may surely crack the surface. That's why this old and conventional process is very essential. And always rotate this part. And as you can see, now the bearing is released. So as you can see, this is a smaller bearing than this one. As you can see, that means this is a 6200. So let's replace the ball bearings. Before that, let me clean the entire setup. And this is the winding. This is a 24 plate 4-pole winding. As you can see, this is very clean, but this needs cleaning. So let me tear down each parts and then let's have a good cleaning. So here are the parts of the EPC. As you can see, all the parts. This is the pedestal. This is the connector box of the motor. This is the regulator connector box. As you can see, the regulator faceplate. This is the power cord, and also there is the flex cord for the regulator to motor connection. Let me show you the regulator plate. This is the regulator plate. This is the motor. These are the bodies, front and back cover of the motor. Here is the label on the motor. So this is the pedestal pipe. This is the inside pipe. This is the spring, and that is the rotor. That is a blade locking nut that is placed in the mouth of the rod shaft, and that is the motor's back cover. This is the front branding. This is the pedestal's cover. These are the foot pads. These are the motor's some bellow like things to support the guard. This is a little bit odd in construction, but whatever might be, as you can see. Now that is the blade, that is the neck, that is the telescope locking nut, and that is the pedestal's upper part, and these two are the locking bolt, means hand tightening bolts. These are the brand new escape bearings. I will use these bearings here. As you can see, this is escape bearing 6201 2RS1 for the front. This is 6200 2RS1 for the rear side. As you can see, this is the packaging for the smaller bearings of escape, and these are the packaging starting from 6201 and above. So these are the smaller ones. In this kind of packaging, both are 100% genuine ball bearings, no duplicacies here. So let me just install the fan. One thing I forgot to mention is that these are the number of screws that this fan had. This is the highest number of screws I have ever seen in any fan. As you can see, there are too many screws, and there is also an aluminium washer in this right corner. As you can see, that is the cover for the ball bearings. So as you can see, this is the heaviest industrial fan I have ever seen. This fan is a real industrial fan. This fan is far heavier than that of the Crompton heavy duty pedestal fan of 2020 that is commonly named as the Vortex. This fan is far heavier than that of the Vortex. But I think if you go to the older Crompton Hurricane or the Crompton High Breeze, the older industrial Crompton fans, then this fan will have a similar weight, but not this much amount of screws is present in those fans. So let me just install the fan. First, let me install the pedestal. As you can know, this fan is very easy to install. Just place this in this hole and just tighten it. Before that, please don't forget to put the foot in the pedestal by inverting it. Let me show you what's the other side. It's very heavy. It's not easily, you cannot easily lift it. As you can see, this side, it's too much heavy. What the as you can see, these are the foot places. You can also use some wheels here by drilling these holes little bit bigger and threading this to your matching those wheels available for the what a chair, pedestal fan, whatever, it is available in hardware store. You may use the wheels, but I will not recommend you to fix a wheel in this kind of heavy fan because the fan may topple. That's why use the OEM things available with this fan, like the foot pads. So let me just install the fan and I will show you the motor part. One thing you have to note, this is the spring. As you can see, you have to place the spring in this pedestal. Just this is for the protection, because if you just accidentally leave the fan with this nut loose, it will just bump in the spring and it will not make a huge sound by bumping in the lowest position of the pedestal. So this is for protection purpose. So this spring must be inserted here. So the pedestal of the fan is fixed, as you can see. The pedestal is fixed now. I have applied some paint here just to hide the corrosion, whatever might be. So let's just fix the motor. As you can see, these are the components of the motor. So this is the shaft, the rotor, this is the winding, and this is the front cover. So let me just unpack the bearings. As you can see, the price of these bearings are around 150 rupees per piece. So this is the smaller one for the back side, for this side. And this is the bigger one from the front side. So let me just. As you can see, I did a small mistake here just by placing the disc in a wrong way. So how to remove the bearing I am showing to you. So this is a bearing puller. Just grab it like this, just tighten it. So by this way you can remove the bearing. And since I sanded the part, so it is now easy. So use this like this, in this orientation, so that the inner ring should be like this in here. So let me just fix it. And one thing to say, do not hammer randomly on the bearing. Use this kind of disc like thing. This is actually a vehicle engine valve, used valve. You can get it from any vehicle garage or a engine repairing shop, literally for free. So let me just do it. One thing to say you guys, when you install a new bearing, there is barely any grease inside the bearing, because the companies are very greedy. There is a grease in this point, but this much grease is nothing for a new bearing. So always apply new grease in your new bearing. And I will suggest you to put the same brand grease, and don't just take the grease with your dirty finger and just shove it. It's my technology just to take it like this and just to apply it, and then with your clean tester, this must be clean, so just rub it like this and push it all until it gets inside. So same thing you do with your front bearing also, because nowadays bearing manufacturers are giving very less amount of grease in their bearings just to have a cost cutting feature, and they are giving you rubber seal. That means this bearing is this is almost not a pre-greased bearing. You have to grease it manually like the naked bearings. But this bearing have a greater durability and longevity, because the dust cannot enter in the grease space, ruining the bearing. So I will suggest you to go for this kind of rubber sealed bearings, and don't go for steel sealed bearings, because if you once remove a steel seal from its bearing, then the bearing you cannot return it back. After you have done with your bearing, just place the seal like this and press it using 2 hands until it clicks. You can feel the click, and then wipe the bearing. So I am telling you again how to remove the seals from a bearing. So if the bearing is like this, just take a thin screwdriver, or you may say tester, just place it here carefully, just put it in little bit inside and just try to peel it, and it will come out like this, as it is totally a rubber type thing. And try to figure out how deep is your tester going, because if it's going too deep and it may ruin the balls and its jackets, so be careful. So let's install the fan, means the motor, fan motor. So as you can see the wire loops here, as the orientation is here, just you place it in a perfect orientation. So match the holes like this, and the second one like this. As you can see, due to the rubber pushing, it's a hard struggle to push the wires out. But once you are done, it's very good. So now the cover has been in a perfect spot, and always match the screw holes. So as you can see, the screw holes are not properly matching, so you may just invert it, no worries, because do it like this. As you can see, because these fans don't have any marking which side is up or which side is down. Now the screw holes are matching. So as you can see, this side, inside. So let's now push the rotor inside, and before that let me just screw tight the back side. As you can see, I have tightened the screws here, so the level should be upside, so this is the perfect orientation. Now let's put this rotor inside like this. Gently push it in position. I will slightly tap it. Now it is in a right position. As you can see, the pole shoes inside. Just rotate it so see no friction is there. Then match the screw holes. As you can see, match the screw hole like this, and catch your cover like this. Match the screw hole. Take one of the screws and just align it with the platform. As you can see, here is the means this is a little bit hefty process, because on the platform also you have to identify where is the screw hole. So now it is locked here. So now just press it like this and slightly tap it 3 to 5 times. So 6 times. Now this shaft is perfect. So we should place the 3 screws and tighten. So as you can see, I am replacing this garbage. Already I have replaced this capacitor, and I was using a previous plastic capacitor. So I was using this capacitor, as you can see. So this is a PVC sheet. So this capacitor is also not in full power, so let me just put it aside. And this was the original sheet garbage. If you see this brand capacitor, never use this brand capacitor. It's a piece of sheet, and this Siemens written branding here, marketed by Siemens, this is totally fake sheet, badass. So discard this kind of garbages. Don't rely on this fake branding Siemens. If you want to buy Siemens capacitor, then visit Siemens website and see whether Siemens make capacitors or not. So I'm using this Tipcon. So the motor is now complete. As you can see, I have connected the connector box here, and also the earthing, and these are the 2 supply wires. The red is the main winding, the black is the auxiliary winding. So let me just connect it. So now let's test the motor. As you can see, the winding is completed. This is the capacitor. The capacitor is mounting in the back plate. So let's just try to run it using a series lamp. The wires are totally hard, so let's start it. So it took speed. Let's stop it and again start it. So it is now crawling. So now it is running fast. So let me check the torque. Yes, this motor have a great torque. Now this is crawling due to the, now it took full speed. So the motor is good. So let's install the fan in a complete way. As you can see, the motor is now running. That means the motor is in a good shape. So fixing of this motor is little bit hefty, because these are the bolts. These are 2-sided bolts that are used for fixing the motor with the base. So first, these bolts will be like this. The thin side should be in the outer side. As you can see, this is just a nut, and this is a 2-sided bolt. The thick side should be here. I'm showing you the trick how to fix the motor. So this is the motor, as you can see. Now the holes are matching here. So I have just fixed this side for supports. So this is the bolt. Just put it like this here and just tighten this. And after the full tight, just put a spanner here and tight in full. Just put a spanner like this. I think this is 15 or 16. So I have connected here the connector box, as you can see. Now I will connect the regulator here and the rest. So now the fan is ready. Let's start the fan. It's now running nice. Full speed. Stop. So let me now show it to you how to fix the guards. So first remove these bolts with the washers. These also, as you can see here, are 4 bolts, 2 nuts and 2 bolts. So this fan is a little bit tricky because this is a pure form of industrial fan, and industrial fans are very tricky. So as you can see, this is the rear guard. So let me just wipe my hands. So first of all, take the guard like this. This is the lower part. Just place it like this. Now, as you can see, the bottom part, you have to enter those nut holes in this guard. So do it, incline this like this, and just enter one side, and the another side is little bit tricky. One side you can easily enter, the another side is little bit tricky. After passing the guard, as you can see, this side is little bit like a plane and this side is round. That means you have to pass the frame from this side only by twisting and whatever the notorious things you have to do. Now just tighten the washer, and as you can see, when you will tighten this, you will face a gap here. So only for this reason these are provided, these rubber bushings are provided, as you can see. So what should you do? You should just place the rubber bushings in between these gaps like this, and the second one like this. As you can see, this is not a very heavy task. So after that, you should apply the big bolts. Just locate the position where is the hole, just tighten it. Take another bolt and also tighten that in a proper way, just by observing where is the hole. Place your washer correctly. Now let's just tighten this. Take your 14 or 15 millimeter spanner and 13 or 14 for the smaller one. And just first you tighten these nuts up. These are 11 mil, very small compared to the upper ones, but because this is a metal, you must tighten this part first. After that you must tighten the upper ones, because upper ones are just rubber mountings. If you press it too heavily, then it may crush the rubber. As you can see. So now one side is tight. Do it for the other side, and then come to the upper one. Now this is the blade. As you can see, these have a normal screw bolt. This is the back side of the blade, and this is the front side. The front nut is only, you may claim as a dummy nut or a locking nut, whatever you like. So but we should just place the nut here. After that, this one. So as you can see, this is the blade. So just press the blade in the shaft. So now I have fixed the blade here. As you can see, I put some paint in the nut because it was rusting badly, but the paint is wet. My hand is also in paint. This nut tightens in anti-clockwise direction. Before that, you have to just tighten this screw. So you need a big wrench for this, something like 22. So now the fan is assembled and the nut is also tightened. Let's run the fan in full speed. Wow, this fan is really silent and the airflow is also very good. Let's reduce the speed. Some sound is coming off the bearing due to new grease application. After continuous use of this fan for around 2 to 3 days, the sound, the notorious sound that you are hearing will go totally off because of the circulation of grease. As you can see, now let's fix the guards. This is the guard and there are 8 bolts to fix the guard. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 nut and bolt to fix the guard. So let's now try the fan for the final time. Now the airflow is very smooth and there is no such sound from the motor. As you can see, there is no such sound from the motor. This motor will sound for some time, very bad sounds once or twice, as you can hear, just because the bearing is adjusting inside. Some of you may claim that I have ruined the bearings, but no, that is a wrong thing. I have not tapped it not heavily to ruin the bearing. So actually I will give it time to be automatically adjusted. After that this fan will be very good. So guys, say how's my review about this EPC industrial pedestal fan 18 inches. Please put it in the comment section. If you like my video, then press the like button. If you have any other queries also, then don't forget to put it in the comment section. And yes, one more thing, please subscribe my channel for more videos like this, restoration and reviews. Till then, I think this video deserves a like.